On today's live daily news, San Angelo rodeo tickets sold out quick. A San Angelo woman is accused of salacious crimes, and a murder trial is underway in Tom Green County. Plus, the Cover One crew meets up one last time to wrap up this high school basketball season. All this plus more. I'm Yantis Green, and this is Live. And have you tried to buy a steak lately? Take a trip out to Miles, Texas, and select the juiciest and tastiest cuts of steak in Texas at Sklenorix. Sklenorix Smoked Meats is an award-winning smokehouse located on the main drag there in Miles at 108 South Robinson. Sklenorix Smoked Meats is open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. weekdays and then 9 to noon on Saturdays. It's well worth the drive. It's a drive that's worth the taste. Sklenorix Smoked Meats in Miles, Texas. And then there were none. Well, not exactly, but for San Angelo rodeo tickets being available, the number is shrinking fast. Last we checked in the studio here this afternoon, there were less than 100 tickets left. But the good news is getting seats together is almost an impossibility. The hottest tickets, though, came from the shows that sold out first. Those included the Extreme Bulls, the PRCA Short Round, and of course that cinch shootout that's ever popular. If you weren't able to get tickets, though, don't worry. They are still for sale on social media and of course the local swap and sell pages. And if that doesn't work out, stay tuned. Stay on San Angelo Live all April long for wall-to-wall rodeo coverage. The 91st Annual San Angelo Stock Show and Rodeo kicks off on March 31st. Also in news, a San Angelo woman has been arrested for the 2021 sexual assault of a child. According to court documents, on October 17th of 21, the suspect, identified as Soka Loth, allegedly picked up the victim across from his house. She drove him around and allegedly sexually assaulted him twice, then dropped him off back at his home. Investigators observed inappropriate messages from Loth to the child on Snapchat. When Loth was interviewed, she said the relationship with the victim was that of a son or brother, and all she could remember was getting drunk and blacking out, but she did state that she did not sexually assault the child. She was arrested on March 6th of 23 and released on the same day on $75,000 bond. In the courthouse today, a San Angelo man took a plea deal and was sentenced to 30 years in prison for continuous sexual abuse of a child under the age of 14. According to court documents, Raimundo Luna told investigators that from January 5th, 2020 through November 29th of that same year, he assaulted an 11-year-old child on more than 2 occasions. In exchange for the guilty plea, Luna was sentenced to 30 years in prison. Over the weekend, San Angelo's chapter of the Safari Club International held its 9th annual banquet on Saturday night, and man, was that a night to remember. During the Hunters Extravaganza, a record 600 hunters and conservationists raised a whopping $450,000 in scholarship money. At the event, guests were able to bid on a number of things in a live auction, including a 7-day African safari hunt, various exotic animal hunts here in Texas, and a 5-course exotic game dinner for 6 people with a surprise celebrity guest chef. And for weather, you better go ahead and mow the grass now, because by midweek, expect rain showers to hit the Concho Valley again. For today and tomorrow, the sun will be out with high temperatures in the mid to upper 80s, but by Wednesday, that will change. Wednesday afternoon, storms will roll in according to the Weather Service and stay throughout Thursday morning. Those storms are constantly changing, so stay tuned with us as we get closer to that day. And finally, a murder trial is ongoing in San Angelo this week, started today. Matt Trammell has more on that, but first, during heartbreaking times of loss, don't let funeral homes overcharge you to honor your loved ones. 2 locally owned funeral homes, Robert Massey and Harper Funeral Homes, offer obituaries here on San Angelo Live. Other media sites like that old newspaper could charge you $200, $300, even $400 for an obit. Here at San Angelo Live, it's a low, low price of $30. Plus, what happens when you're done with the newspaper? It likely goes in the trash. At San Angelo Live, obits last forever online, and they are there at the click of a button. So make sure when you are thinking of who to call, remember those who support local businesses. That's Robert Massey Funeral Home and Harper Funeral Home. Give them a call today. And now here's Matt Trammell with the biggest story of the day.
Back in 2021, a fight broke out at the formerly named Penny Tap House in Park 2400 on College Hills. That night would be the last night on Earth for San Angelo's Jason Garavay. Fast forward 2 years and Jose Joe Angel Trevino would also be fighting for the fight of his life, but instead in a Tom Green County courtroom. Trevino is accused of murdering Garavay during the fight. There is no question the fight took place, but instead, if Trevino tried to kill Garavay. I'll be in the courtroom all week long to get you that answer. The jury pool was selected today, so the trial will continue in the morning. Staying up to date on how laws are determined by the people of Tom Green County is important, and because of that, it is the biggest story of the day.
Truck Month, Truck Month, Truck Month. You've been asking for it, and it's finally here. It's Truck Month. And we have huge savings on all cars and trucks, including F-150s. Low interest rates which make for low payments, and the best selection we've seen in years. Don't wait, hurry on down to Jim Bass Ford, Houston Hart at Arden Road, or shop 24/7 at bassbunch.com.
The Angelo State men's and women's basketball teams played in the conference final of the Lone Star Conference Tournament over the weekend. Both teams made it through the brutal gauntlet to reach the finals, but only one brought home the championship. The Rams fell to West Texas A&M 64-63 at the buzzer in heartbreaking fashion. Still, their second-place finish allowed the Rams to claim the number 4 seed in the NCAA Division II tournament. Their first game is this weekend against Colorado Mesa. The Ram Bells had a better outcome in their conference final. The ladies defeated Texas Women's University 63-62. The conference title gave the Ram Bells the 1 seed in their regional tournament. Game times are still to be determined, but the tournament starts on Friday, March 10th at the Janelle Center in San Angelo. In other sports news, the Central Bobcats and Lady Cats soccer teams hosted their senior nights last Friday against Midland Legacy. Both teams secured crucial points in their journey to the playoffs. The boys played in the early game and tied with the Rebels 1-1. The Cats remain in third place in district with 2 games to go. The Lady Cats won their matchup against the Lady Rebels 3-0 to take sole possession of second place in their district. They have 2 crucial matchups left, and they need another victory to secure the number 2 seed in the playoffs.
This month only, mix and match cleaning and disinfecting services and save big with Carpet. For example, get your carpet clean, save 10%. Get your carpet and tile clean, save 15%. Or get your carpet and tile and air ducts clean, save 20%. Call Carpet Tech today, 325-735-5142.
If your home is in a wreck, call Carpet Tech, yeah.
All right, and now we're back with a little bit of Cover 1 talk. We ended the basketball season, and we want to just wrap it up one more time before it gets kind of too far out of date. I'm going to go ahead and bring in my co-host, though, first. James Bellini, Ryan Chadwick, what's going on, guys?
Basketball's over. A little bit,
On to baseball and soccer and track and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
Golf.
well, had 2 teams in it at the very end there, almost in the state tournament. So let's go ahead and get down into those games. Want to talk about first the Erie and County game, since that one was first. So let's talk about that one, Chadwick, for the people that didn't watch Friday. Just kind of wrap them up on what happened during that.
I think you meant Reagan County, but
oh, sorry.
Reagan County. Reagan County, but both the counties. We got Big Lake and Merchant represented out here, but the Reagan County Owls played Floydada, and their matchup on Friday. Played the early game at 1 p.m., and it was a close game. They were leading after 1, tie game at halftime, and then in the second half, Floydada could just do no wrong. They were making everything on the offensive side of the floor, but the real difference in the game was their defense. They started running a full court press, and Reagan County just couldn't deal with it. They turned the ball over more than 5 times on their side of the floor, and as soon as they turned it over, Floydata's right underneath their own basket. They just put it in for easy 2 points. Ended up losing that one 91-77. So it was a bit of a shocker because Reagan County was favored in that game, but regardless, it's the furthest Reagan County's ever made it in the tournament. Yep. Congratulations to them that they still added a whole lot of hardware to that trophy case. And the best part about it is that team's young. Almost that entire starting 5 will be back next year.
That's going to be pretty crazy. I mean, they're really, really good, had a really good season. It all really kind of came down to that run at the end of the game for Floydata. But either way, yeah, good season, but have to move on. Then there was a game after that in the regional tournament there in Snyder at West Texas College, and that was Erie County. So, James, kind of break down that one for me.
Yeah, Erie County played Benjamin in Snyder's Western Texas College Coliseum there in Snyder, and Erie County just got beat. I don't think they played their best game. At starting things off real fast, Erie County was down 10-0 really early on, and it was looking like, Benjamin's going to just take this and run. Second quarter came around. Erie County fought back. It was like 27-24, and then things just started not falling for Erie County. It just started falling apart. They kept putting this sophomore from the Mustangs on the line. His name was Grayson Rigdon. He averaged like 41 points a game through the year. He's just a freak of a kid. At one point, I think he led. I mean, he obviously led with like 40 points in this game for the Mustangs there. I think Koffel led for the Erie County Hornets. They just got beat, man. That was.
I mean, when we talked about it before the game started, we were kind of talking about the size issue. Was that kind of the? I mean, Erie County had the size in that one. What was kind of the factor? What was the main reason you think that Erie County fell in that one? I
think that Benjamin had a lot of that short speed on him. You don't necessarily have to have the tallest team, but if you have those little short guys who can get up underneath those big guys, and I've seen teams that have all the height in the world, and I've seen teams be really good, and I've seen teams that are really short who have all that speed, who are really, really good. So Erie County just got beat. That's all there is to it. That's the only way to say it.
I will say, it doesn't really seem like Erie County came as prepared as they needed to be in that game as well. I mean, shoot, Matt, we were talking before the game, projecting Erie County to win this one again, in hand.
Yep.
They had the size advantage. They had the wins on their side.
The star power.
Yeah, they had the star power. They had the offensive prowess, But what it sounds like is they had a terrible shooting day, and then they just kind of didn't come prepared, and they got whooped. So it's sad to see. When a team is that good and they had such high aspirations, it's just one of those things. Like when it comes to the playoffs, especially with basketball, if you don't come correct like every single game, ready to go, then you go home.
Yep, and basketball is the crazy. I mean, that's why March Madness is what it is because anybody can win on any given day, and especially when you're talking about these high school kids. James, you got something to add in there?
No, I'm saying when Erie County is down 10-0 early with 5 minutes to go in the first, it went that fast. It was that bad, that fast for them. They had probably 6 or 7 shots on one possession that just didn't fall for them. It was just off. And they started getting right in the second quarter. They started getting right, and it's like, okay, they're starting to wake up. They started waking up towards the end of the first, and it was like 19-9. But they had started to wake up, and then they closed the gap there in the second quarter. And you're thinking maybe it's like the Sanderson game where they're not shooting that good. Coach says something to them at halftime. They come out and they just start hitting it. But no, it just didn't work out. I don't want to take anything away from Benjamin either. Benjamin played a really good game, and maybe they were just super on. Maybe that was part of it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of like the Floydata and Reagan County game. Floydata just played an amazing game.
And sometimes when you get down to this region, there was one game before the state championship. I mean, anytime you have that, you're going to have 2 really good teams who can win it. I mean, they didn't get that way because of no reason.
Right, and I think Benjamin ended up. I think they are going to state.
Yeah,
to be honest with you.
they won the game on Saturday.
Okay, so they're going to state. So
yeah,
there's no shame in losing
Erie
to
County
these
was
guys.
a team to beat.
You're right, yeah. And I will say the team that kicked Cristobal out, New Home, they beat Floydada on Saturday up there in Levelland. They're going to state. So
yeah, and the girls won it, didn't they? They won state.
The New Home girls.
New Home girls, yeah, they won state. Yeah.
And Cristobal girls lost to New Home, so
yeah. So
we're right there.
Tough
Concho
break,
Valley's right there.
Tough break for the Concho Valley, but again, like some of these teams are real young and they'll be back. I don't want to say Erie County's window is closed, but they're just graduating so much talent this year. So it was definitely disappointing to see.
Yeah, Tyler Henderson's coming back. You know, he's their 6'5" guy. I think he's a junior, but they are losing Koffel, who had a tremendous game. They're losing Harrison. They're losing Morrow. You know, so yeah, I'm not saying the window's closed on them because anything can happen there, but.
Yeah, I mean, look at the girls' team.
You have to rebuild.
We didn't expect the girls' team to go to state, and they went there. So, I mean, I would say their window's closed by far. I think when you're in those 1As, anything can happen. You get one or two good kids. I mean, you're in it for sure.
Yeah.
So, anyways, guys, we're going to meet one more time before this thing's over. This is the end of our season coverage. But, of course, just like every show, we're going to have a all-star team at the end of it. We did the football one. So, on Friday, we're going to be doing Cover 1 Hoops All-Star Edition. So, James, you want to kind of break down a little bit to let people know if they want to, submit names or coaches or anything like that, where to do that and how to do that.
Email me at james@sanangelolive.com, James at Hyde Interactive, HYDE Interactive. Email me your recommendations. I need your points, your student athletes' points per game, rebounds, assists, steals, 3-point shots, free throw percentage, anything you can think of. If you had a player that you played against who was just a tremendous athlete and you want to say, hey, this person from this other school, we had a really hard time, guarding her, guarding him, whatever.
Or mom, dad, if you feel like your mom and dad, the best. Yeah.
Because, I will say, we are doing it for the boys and the girls.
Yeah, we're doing both. We're doing both. So, let me know. Let us know. Get us stats. Get us something so we have, so we can include your kids. It's what it's all about. Is about, shining a light on these athletes in the Concho Valley.
Yeah, and it's a little recruiting tool, I'll say. If you say that that's just another thing that you can put on your resume that maybe your kid won or maybe, your athlete won or anything like that. So make sure you get James at San Angelo Live. Email him with submissions for the Cover 1 All-Star team. We're going to have the MVP, Players of the Year, Coaches of the Year, those kinds of things. Of course, we'll have our big production this Friday, so tune in. That will be at around 4 o'clock. Guys, last thoughts when it comes to Cover 1 Hoops?
This was a heck of a year for me anyway. This was really my very first year covering basketball. It was a sport that I've had to learn a lot about on the fly, and I've really come to appreciate. I didn't think I would enjoy girls basketball as much as I do, but you ladies just beat each other up the whole game. It's fun to watch.
Says. Yes, he says that.
So it's one of those. I'm the football guy, and I'm looking forward to the start of football season. But this was a new experience, and I enjoyed every second of it. So thanks for that.
James?
I think, this is the first year Cover 1 covered basketball. So, we've always been football up here. And I had a good time, just learning more about the players, learning more about the coaches, and building these relationships and networking more. And, we want to continue this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think one cool thing about basketball that I'll note on that is in football, it's not as much as when you're covering, it's not so much personal because it's players in these pads and uniforms and helmets where you can't really see their facial expressions after every play. And then when you get out here on the basketball court, you can kind of see what happens to these kids when they face adversity. You can see what happens to these kids when they do something that's incredible. I mean, you can kind of really connect with them more than you could, I guess, on a football field where, maybe, you see somebody mess up and they come off the field and slam their helmet, those kinds of things. But that's not the instant reaction I think you can get with basketball. I think that's kind of what you're saying, James.
No, I mean, shoot. I'm walking through the crowd there at Erie County, the Janelle Center. I see Shake Everson Armstrong's hand. He's there from Wall. I'm at Tractor Supply. See Haven Book from Miles. They all recognize it. It's a lot more fun when the kids start recognizing and you start recognizing everybody and you just keep building these.
It's like we've become a community.
Yeah, and it's important. It's. Like Matt said, you're trying to use it as a recruiting tool as well. You're trying to get your name out there. We're trying to amplify you as much as we can. And shoot, I used to take a lot of pride in the kids that, when I worked out there at Cristobal filming, the kids that went and played somewhere in college. That was really cool. I thought that was really cool that,
definitely
anything I could do to help these kids out.
And I think that's kind of where
it.
our sports kind of is going right now. I mean, we're trying to. I mean, maybe the high school hits aren't the biggest hits you can get in the world and bring the most advertisers in the world, but I think what we just try to do with our sports and what we're starting to do with Cover One and everything is just try to build the community, get kids' names out there, and make better recruitments so that kids can move on, go to college somewhere, play sports, and then, hey, decide to come back and work for Cover One. Who knows?
Oh, and another thing here. Parents and coaches and teachers, if one of your student athletes is signing with the college, please reach out to us.
Yes.
We will do an entire showcase story on them. I see so many of these posts on Facebook and stuff when something like this happens.
But
and
it's
I'm
already
like,
over.
Yeah, and it's already over. I'm like, if I would have known, I would have been there. We would have filmed it. So,
everybody
again,
one page.
let us know, and we'll be there.
All right, well, guys, this wanted to let you know, Cover One Hoops All-Star team will be announced this Friday, so tune in on Friday at around 4 o'clock. I'm Matt Trammell, Ryan Chadwick, James Bellini, as always, the Cover One crew. For the live daily news, we will see you guys tomorrow.